I want to show you something really quick here. Now, traders are losing trades because they're trading in times of day that are not ideal. Now, the markets are quote unquote open 24 hours a day. This does not mean that they're going to move well 24 hours a day. We're going to get the markets moving stronger in some times of the day and a lot quieter in other times of the day. So what I'm looking at was a trade was posted. It was, let me just check that out. It was a Japanese yen, the pound yen. That was right in this area here. And this was, where was the trade? No, this is the wrong time of day. This one here. Let's just get rid of some of these lines. Was this trade? This was the long trade right here, and it didn't work. And that's not surprising because of the time of day. Now, if I take a look down here, this is my market hours indicator. It tells me what time of day the different sessions are. Dark blue is Frankfurt or the European session. Light blue is London. Green is New York. Dark red is Sydney. Light red, or just the red, is Asia. And we need the major players to exchange currency back and forth for there to be any change in the exchange rate. When you get a time of day where there is very little exchange happening, you're not going to get an exchange rate that changes very much. And that's what the Forex market is. We're looking at the foreign exchange rates that are changing, the currency exchange rates from one to another. And when there is no exchange happening, the rate is not going to change. Now, what's going to happen is the bulk of the exchange rate happens during the London session, where the light blue is. Some of it's going to peter off in the middle to the end of New York, but that often gets very, very quiet. Then it doesn't really pick up again until Asia starts. So if we're looking at this time of day, this particular one is right dead in the middle of virtually nothing happening. We don't have any currencies being exchanged. So taking a trade at this particular time is not going to yield very much as far as a trade goes. We take a look at this area. We just see how flat the market is. The flat market candles are very, very small, and this is going to be repeated virtually every time. We're looking at the same section here. Very, very small, very flat candles. There is very little as far as the exchange rate goes on. So taking a trade in this area is just not going to turn out very well. You can see what happens when Asia starts. We start to get some market movement. The market picks up. Now, it's not going to be huge for the most part. Australia and Asia, they will trade in anything kind of within that time zone. They're going to trade. And it's going to start influencing some of the currency pairs. It's not going to influence, for example, the Euro USD very much. Let's go to 15-minute. It's going to stay fairly quiet. We're not going to get a whole lot of market movement during that period because there's no Asia, there's no yen, there's no Australian dollar, there's no country of no country's currency that's being traded at that point. So let's go back to this one here. So if I scroll through this, you can see it's very flat. Again, it picked up because this was the introduction to the new week. So there was a little bit of movement here, but you can see how flat it was just prior. I'll go back to here. Again, this is this section here. Very, very quiet. Not a lot of market movement. Again, very sideways, very, very quiet, not a lot of market movement. It is going to just sort of bobble around here until eventually in the Asia session, it's going to take off one way or another. Again, here is the very, very flat, very quiet market. And we're looking at that same window over and over again. And we're seeing how very quiet and very flat that is. So it becomes dangerous to trade at that point. Unless you're trading, again, right in here, unless you're trading 4 hour. The 1 hour might have some legs. It's going to pause at that point, but generally speaking though, it's going to get quite quiet, quite flat, very difficult to make anything on it. Stops are going to be small, targets are going to be small, and it's going to be hit or miss whether we actually get something out of that. The market is based a lot of momentum. We're looking for the market to take off and then kind of keep going in that direction. We're looking for that momentum. We're looking for that push that gets us to the profit target, and we don't have that in these periods of time. There's just zero momentum. So whatever trade you take, there is no force that is going to try to push it long, try to push it short. It just kind of bobbles around at that time. So this is very important to be aware of when you're trading a smaller time frame. In a smaller time frame, 5 minute, 15 minute, and the 1 hour to some degree, you want to be aware of the times of days versus the currencies you're trading. Now this particular time of day, nothing's going to move. There's nothing open basically. Now the markets are quote unquote open, but there's just no countries exchanging currency to make the market move. Now, I hope this makes sense. We're going to cover this more and more. Now, if you're just getting into this and you're getting frustrated already, please don't. This is learning experience. You're trading this on a demo account right now and it's frustrating and it's not working, but there's a lot to cover, and we are going to cover it. And this is one aspect of it, and we're going to cover more and more and more and more and more and more, and eventually you're going to be the greatest trader you've ever been. All right, so please don't lose hope. There is hope, and it's just unveiling all of the little intricacies that are part of this. All right, you guys take care, and I'm going to see you again really soon.